This is online group 3 consisting of Sophie Smith, Ben Hackett and Kendall Haslett.
Hi there, my name's Sophie and welcome to our group presentation. We'll be explaining Ali Fashion and Porter's 5 Forces model to better understand the competitive pressures it faces. Ali is an Australian fast fashion retailer founded in 2001 with over 140 stores across Australia and a strong online presence. The brand targets young women aged 18 to 35, offering a trendy, affordable clothing with a rapid product turnover. Ali operates in a fast fashion retail sector which is known for being fast-paced, highly competitive, and highly influenced by changing consumer preferences. In the next few slides, we'll apply Porter's model to explore the main forces shaping the industry and starting with the intensity of a competitive rivalry. Competitive rivalry in the fast fashion industry is extremely high. Ali competes with both global brands like Shein and H&M and also local players Cotton On and Glassons. These brands all target similar audiences to compete heavy on price, style and speed to market. Because fashion trends change so rapidly, Ali must consistently update its product line to stay relevant. Customers in this sector are also very price sensitive with low brand loyalty, making it easy for them to switch to competitors. This creates constant pressure for Ali to innovate, keep prices low and maintain strong visibility within a crowded market. As a result, competitive rivalry is one of the most powerful forces affecting Ali Fashion.
And thank you for that introduction, Sophie. I'll now be moving on to look at the bargaining power which suppliers hold over Ali Fashion. And suppliers have never really held large amounts of power either pre or post their recent liquidation. For example, pre-liquidation, as what they're doing is clothing, is a very expansive business to gather their supplies, such as the farmers to make the cotton, the people who sew up the clothing itself. So they have multiple options for who to choose. If a supplier chose to raise prices, Ali had multiple chances to find a different supplier. Even looking at post-liquidation, the bargaining power has almost been removed completely. Purely as there's no more business, Ali can simply choose the cheapest possible supplier and use that to develop any final clothing which they plan to sell before they wind up their business. There are two main factors which have given bargaining power to the buyers at Ali's Fashion. The first one being due to the bankruptcy which has occurred, the business really just needs to sell as many clothes as it can in order to generate as much income as they can before they have to permanently close their doors. Due to this, the buyers are able to get things for a lot cheaper at a greater discount just to move stock. The other major factor which gives power to the buyers is clothing is a very common thing to purchase. A person can walk down a street and easily pass 3 different clothing stores. So Ali really needs to go out of their way to attract the buyer in through things like discounted prices and more unique fashions. This also ties into our next slide, the threat of substitutes. So, the threat of substitution already existed before the liquidation, as the basic idea of having trendy clothing for young women is a very simple idea to replicate. This can be seen by customers as, again, if you walk down the main street, you'll easily see 2 or 3 different women's clothing stores. So Ali needs to go out of their way to avoid the threat of substitution by finding their greater appeal, whether that be delivery options, whether that be cheaper prices. But prices is something that Ali did ultimately fail to deliver on, as looking between 2 different stores, the basic price structure is very similar between them. And with that, I'm now going to pass you off to Kendall to go through our final Porter's Force and wrap up all of our findings that we found through this presentation. Thank you.
Threat of new entrants. So when we assess the threat of new entrants through Porter's 5 Forces, we find that the fast fashion industry in Australia has low barriers to entry but higher barriers to long-term success. Structurally, it's relatively easy to start a fashion label. There are minimal regulatory hurdles, accessible e-commerce platforms like Shopify, and widespread outsourcing options. This means small businesses or influencers can launch fast fashion brands relatively quickly and at a low cost. However, scaling that brand sustainably, as Ali Fashion once did, remains a significant challenge. Prior to entering liquidation, Ali leveraged economies of scale through a vertically integrated supply chain, allowing for low prices and fast inventory turnover, which are key advantages in fast fashion. Ali also built strong brand recognition, particularly among younger shoppers. Its combination of 140 stores and a growing online presence is not easy to replicate, nor its investment in social media marketing, influencer partnerships, and data-driven trend tracking. That said, Ali's liquidation shows how fragile these advantages can be in a highly saturated and competitive market. It's clear that even large established players can struggle to maintain profitability and amid the rising costs, shifting consumer expectations and intense price competition. Smaller niche entrants can still gain traction quickly, especially if they focus on trends like sustainability or inclusivity. But Ali's downfall highlights that the real threat isn't just new entrants, it's whether they can survive in the long term. The overall threat of new entrants remains moderate. While launching is easy, surviving and scaling is increasingly difficult, even for brands that were once seemed well positioned, like Ali. To conclude, our Porter's 5 Forces analysis shows Ali Fashion faces strong competition. Supplier power is low, while buyers have high power due to the company's financial struggles. Substitutes are a major threat, with many similar fashion options available. And although it's easy to start a new brand, scaling to Ali's level is much harder. Overall, the fast fashion industry is highly competitive, and Ali's future depends on its adaptability and resilience moving forward. Thank you.